Hello. Hello. How is everyone today? Oh, man. You know, I thought I had everything fixed. I thought everything was gonna be fine. But now... Doggone it. Hoomst. Silence phone. Silence. Okay. Haha. It will work today. Alright. Where the shit is the radio? I am not working in silence today. What are we feeling today? Also, how's the game volume? Oh, that's just user radio. That's the winner. Alright. So... Oh! Let me adjust my legs real quick. Oh, God. Moving my setup a little bit. Alright, so, first things first, I've played this game a lot. Part of it is diagnosing cars, figuring out what's wrong with it, so, for example, repair all engine faults, car does not start. A lot of it I've already kind of, like, figured out. Loud when accelerating, general gearbox control and repair, transmission not responsive, transmission noisy. Well, damn. Technician states get a new car. What are we doing to this one? Pretty much building a new engine. Gotcha. Hard to control, so suspension. Find and fix any running gear problems, other tasks. Increase the tuning. Oh, damn you. But courtesy washer fluid, power steering flush, coolant flush, brake flush. Dope. Dope, dope, dope. Head outside. What's wrong with you? Strange noise from engine bay. Inspect and replace filters. So we're doing an oil change pretty much. Oh, we're doing a water pump job. That's dope. And a timing chain. Awesome. Brakes are a problem. And a cooling flush. Yeah, that sounds about right when doing a water pump. And what's wrong with you? Oh god, it's an actual customer states. Good morning. I was just on my way back with an accidental acquisition. My wife sent me to finally buy the promised car for my mother-in-law. I got back late from work yesterday. I'd been searching for something since morning, but ended up on an auction anyway. Unfortunately, fatigue began to have an effect. Nodded off before the console and unintentionally won this beautiful car. It's actually not that bad. Perhaps I'm defending my stupid purchase just a little bit. I will pay double for it because here comes your part. Please check what's wrong with it and get it up and running. Perhaps we'll manage to get out clean from this misunderstanding. I'll be waiting for the results. Homie. Do an oil change. Alright, so this customer is pretty much call me with what's wrong with it and call me when it's done. So, courtesy washer fluid, power steering flush, cooling flush, brake flush. Put an engine in it is pretty much what I'm seeing. Yay. And change the oil. Okay, well. You're gonna wait a minute. So this is my facility, pretty much. I'm a little independent one-man shop. I am the service writer. I am the technician. This is the dyno area for when we try to tune cars. I'm the guy that washes the car. I paint cars on occasion. Ooh, okay. What's wrong with your piece of junk again? Oh, yeah, it's in kilometers. Need brakes. Probably needs a transmission. Yeah, driver struggling to find gears. Or needs a transmission, probably a clutch. Yay. Okay. Yeah, you deal with it, bye. So, I mean, it is what it is. We've got a pretty nice facility here. You're going to see me tear an engine apart, pretty much. Alright. All of that can go into storage. I don't need that in my inventory right now. Alright. That's all been put into storage. Now, we're going to start on this piece of junk. All engine problems. Hard to control. Alright, here's what we're going to start with. We're not going to add fluidless just yet. Tools. We're gonna need an employee. Not yet. Not yet. So, coolant's been drained. Power steering, can't really see in there, but we're going to pull that out. And now, this game isn't, it's more advanced than the original version that I had played, but you still don't have the actual bleeding procedure. Do the washer fluid. Now, normally, there's supposed to be, like, an actual, like, stop place where you fill up on here, probably around that seam right there, but as a technician in real life, I ignore it and I just fill it all the way up because that little bit can get a customer through. I'm going to leave that alone for right now. I'm going to yank this engine out. I'm going to put more power steering fluid in real quick, though. The one problem is I can't quite see where it is on the min-max. So I'm gonna pray that I'm pretty close. Yep. Good enough. We're gonna check the air filter. Air filter's okay. I'm gonna put that back. I don't know why we take the clips all the way off. You can just undo them and just let them sit, but you know, it's fine. Because it's a video game. Alright. That's done. That's done. That's done. Alright. We're gonna lift this thing up. I think this thing's supposed to be a Beamer. Or a BMW, rather. Man, that oil's pretty clean. What do I have to do to you? I might be able to do that stuff in the car. We'll see. Alright. We gotta start by removing this drive shaft, otherwise called a propeller shaft. Fun fact about me is that in real life I am an ASE certified technician. I have been working in the industry for the past 5 years. It is my day job. So if you hear me start going off on a little bit of tangent here and there where I'm explaining like the technical side of things, do not be surprised. I promised everything is fine. I'm going to remove that. I don't need to remove that because I think the engine comes up and out. Hi, Betty. How you doing? I didn't see you there. I apologize. Where is my... There it is. There's the cherry picker. Otherwise known as an engine crane. We're going to move that over. Will it let me yank out that engine? Nerd. Yes. Yes, I am a nerd. I did go to school for this. I do have a associate's degree in automotive technology. I am an ASE certified technician. I hold in the A series of ASE certifications. The A series is automotive. I hold A4, A5, A6, A7, and A8. I also hold Maintenance and Light Repair G1. I also hold Advanced Engine Performance L1. So I do have the designations of Automotive Technician, Maintenance and Light Repair Technician, and Advanced Engine Performance technician. In real life, I could not actually do this kind of engine repair. I am not skilled enough. I will be the first person to tell you that I am not the guy for the job if it comes to something like this. But because it's a video game and I don't have any kind of risk-reward to just pulling this entire thing apart and putting it all back together without an issue, no. Video game, I don't care. Real life, I do, because there have been occasions where I have done a major repair and it didn't quite work out how I wanted it to. So, it is what it is. Moving on. Essentially what we are doing right now is I'm doing a full engine teardown in order to determine the exact fault locations of any and all issues on this vehicle. That way, when the customer ends up taking the vehicle back, it is all fine and dandy, and we have fixed the problem. Essentially what this is right now is exploratory surgery, so to speak. So, we are currently surgically removing parts of this engine's heart in order to determine what the faults are and how to best repair them. Which I think I just did a vehicle like this not too long ago in this game. Or at least this engine. Ooh, that crankshaft doesn't look fun. So, alternator looks good. At least there's that. Take off this timing cover slash front cover. Alright. Normally the timing belts would not just be stretched between the cam or the crankshaft and the camshafts, which are up here. There would normally be also like a tensioner for these belts in order to keep them under tension, which these timing belts are actually pretty lucky that they are not in a location in which they are being attributed or contaminated with oil. Rubber belts plus motor oil equals failure. And those are no joke. There are some automobiles that are currently being built and are currently equipped with timing belts that are being run through the engine in a location in which everything is lubricated by oil. And that is a horrible design. I cannot remember off the top of my head what those vehicles currently are. It's probably a model of Ford somewhere. Do not buy a Ford. I will tell you that right now. Fords are... I suppose it depends. To work on, they are not fun, and they will cost you a ton of money. Alright, we can move out of that, rotate the engine. Just going to rotate the engine 180 degrees, take off this oil pan. Man, these pistons just don't look fun. They don't look good. They are not happy. Some of them are fine, but not all of them. It definitely needs a crankshaft, though. That's wild. I will also be the first to say that professionally, I do not know everything. So whatever I say, take with a grain of salt. There are other professionals out there that are far more equipped to handle any and all sorts of automotive questions. I've seen a thing or two, I've fixed a thing or two, but I don't know everything. I do not claim to know everything. Before you keyboard warriors out there try to crucify me for being like, oh, this guy said he's a professional mechanic and he didn't know what was going on with my car. Well, I got to be able to look at it in order to actually try to diagnose it. And even then, if you give me a problem, it could be like 20 different things before I finally stumble on the answer. And there are other technicians that are far better at diagnosing than I am. Okay, so add that to the shopping list. This is a V8, so I'm just gonna just gonna do that. Okay. Now we go parts shopping. I don't need a starter, but I will need a crank. I will need piston rings. I'll just go ahead and replace all of these. Pistons, rod caps. I could probably fix them up. Whoops. Oil filter. Always replace the oil filter when you're doing this. I probably just got rid of my spark plugs by accident. Fun. Might as well replace all the cam gears since I'm in there. And now we're going to head over to the electronics. We could probably just be a targeted approach and take care of the single ignition coils as we go, but I would rather just take care of all of them at once, because the likelihood that one of them has failed and the other ones are still okay, and then the rest of them fail after I do a repair, is higher. So I would just rather not take the chance and just replace that stuff right then and there. Actually, before I get too much further in, just do some repairs. That way at least some things are going back on the car in a little bit better shape than they were. So this little mini game is, the aim is, in order to repair, you hit the green. If you hit the red, it gets more damaged. Sometimes things will break if you hit the red enough. You don't want to do that. That'll cost you more money. In most auto shops, they are not going to actually be like doing this kind of repair anymore. A lot of the times they'll just be replacing components. Simply because they don't have the facilities to actually do those kinds of repairs. It's unfortunate, but it just is what it is, and I don't agree with it myself, but that's just kind of the world we live in. Auto manufacturers, in and of themselves, have gotten to a point where they don't build things to be repaired, they build things to break, and then you go and buy another car. For example, legitimately today, a customer came in, customer states brakes are grinding, on the way to the shop today, heard a loud pop, and then had to continuously push the brake pedal to the floor in order to stop. I performed necessary diagnostics and found that the front brakes were completely worn. On the passenger front side, the brake rotor had been worn to a grinding metal where, at this point, it had been going for a very long time. It was definitely not one of those, oh yeah, it started yesterday type deals. No, this had been going on for a while. And the customer had finally driven the vehicle and used the brakes enough to where the inboard brake pad on that passenger front side had finally fallen out of the mounting bracket for the brakes, and the caliper piston had pushed itself out all of the way because it's under constant hydraulic pressure when you apply the brakes on your automobile, that the piston had popped out of the boot, and it was just puking fluid. Absolutely puking fluid. And the caliper piston had then been ground into the rotor. And what the brake rotor is, it's the little disc on your automobile that is mounted to the wheel hub. The wheel hub... Okay. So, before I get too lost in the weeds, I'll show you what the, let me out. Let me out. Doggone it. Alright. So, in essence. So, here's your wheel and tire assembly. Okay? The rotor is this part, okay? This is the brake caliper. Here are the brake pads. In essence, what had happened is this side of the brake pad had failed, was completely gone. The brake caliper piston, or what's being noted as the cylinder, had been pushed out of... Hey, it's a Dragon Speaks. How you doing, buddy? It had been pushed out from the hydraulic pressure from the caliper and was grounding against the rotor on this side. And it was leaking brake fluid. So, upon recommending this repair, in order to properly repair the front brakes, he needed to replace the rotors, needed to replace the brake pads, needed to replace the caliper, which when you do calipers, you want to do them in pairs, because if one is older than the other one is more likely to fail than the one we just replaced. And usually when replacing calipers, we like to recommend replacing the brake hoses at the same time, because if the new caliper goes on and all of a sudden it doesn't want to play nice with the old hose because the old fluid has been flowing through it. All of a sudden, that old hose is clogged and won't allow fluid back up to the master cylinder, or it won't properly bleed the hydraulics properly, then it's a problem. So I recommended what's known as CPHR in the front, which is calipers, pads, hoses, rotors for the front. And then in the back, what had also happened is because it had electronic rear parking brake, I didn't know if those calipers were shot or not, but on one side it was down to 2 millimeters, which is past the exceeded amount of life left on a brake pad. And the thing is, on the driver's side rear, the rotor was in 2 pieces. This part of the rotor right here, where the wheel mounts to the hub to keep them kind of sandwiched together, this is known as the hat of the rotor. And then this here, where the brake pad makes contact in order to help slow down the vehicle when you apply the brakes, that is called the table. These two portions were in 2 separate pieces. So this was being held on by the tire, like so. And then this guy back here, the table of the rotor, was sandwiched between the brake pads, in which one of them was down to metal anyway. So I recommended rear pads and rotors, with the caveat of I needed to get the calipers off and try to see if see if the calipers were shot. They ended up not being shot, so it ended up just being CPHR in the front and just rear pads and rotors. Customer declined repairs. What became of that now is the customer was going to have the vehicle towed out of there. So it is no longer my problem, ultimately. A Dragon Speaks, I've been watching an inordinate amount of Just Rolled In, other sorted car repair content, so this is somewhat fascinating. So I know diddly about cars. Yeah, I mean, starting off, like, learning about cars is pretty neat. But at the same time, once you work in this industry for any any extended period of time, it is going to drive you absolutely batshit insane. And yeah, it is crazy. The vehicle was literally unsafe to drive. I showed my service writer, hey, this thing is not safe to drive whatsoever. So I don't know what we need to do, but I am not putting this thing back together and backing it out myself. Absolutely not. Funny story about that, actually. Before I started working at the place that I work at now, I had a similar situation in which the customer had brought their vehicle in, and they were like, hey, my brakes have been doing this funny noise. I don't know what's going on. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll take a look at it. So I took a look at it. They needed 4-corner brakes. The calipers were shot, they were leaking fluid, it wasn't building pressure. Customer declined repairs. The manager on duty there had then decided it was a good idea for me to put everything back together, back it out of the shop, park it, and then the customer was going to come pick it up and drive it. No. Absolutely not. If I had to do that all over again, I would have been more adamant of, okay, I'll put it back together, but you're backing it out. I am not doing that. Because it was unsafe. So, in essence, what ended up happening is I put it back together. I put it on the ground. I pumped up the pedal to try to get some kind of pressure so that I could, like, feasibly keep that brake pedal to the floor and maintain some kind of braking power. It did not work out the way I intended it to. I put the thing in reverse, and this Nissan Frontier truck launched itself out of my bay, and where it was my bay was sitting there, and when you backed out, it went down a hill. And where that hill dead ends into is a residential street, and on the other side, there was some bushes and a business building of some sort. I can't remember. But I back out, I rocket down the hill, trying to pump up the brakes to try to get the vehicle to stop, because I can't stop that thing. Luckily, I didn't hit anybody, I didn't kill anybody. However, the only thing that stopped that truck from going through a wall were the bushes that surrounded the side of that building. I screamed in terror when that truck rocketed out of that building and almost crashed into another. I then proceeded to give that manager on duty a piece of my mind, and then I clocked out and went home. I said, fuck this, I am not doing this anymore today. Ugh. So yeah. It was not fun. I didn't work at that place very long. I worked there for maybe 6 months before I said, fuck this. Fuck this place. I'm gone. And I know I'm dropping an obscene amount of F-bombs, but I don't care. Because legitimately, fuck that place. This video isn't getting monetized anyway. Now, typically for clutches, when you, like, put new clutch parts on it, you want to either resurface the flywheel. That's what the clutch plate and the pressure plate are, like, mounted to. Or you replace it. I am doing neither of those things because I just don't care. This is a video game. I do not care. On an actual customer vehicle, I would care very much. Reminding me of a time when my brake lines ruptured and I laid out 40 feet of rubber coming up on a T intersection with a cow pond on the other side of the T. Yeah, man. Not having brakes is terrifying as hell. So, if you have your vehicle in the shop and your mechanic is telling you, hey, you don't need them to you don't need to do them right now. Like if they're like 4 millimeters. Like, alright, let me start over. If your brake pads are sitting at like 4 millimeters, you don't need to do them immediately. And if your mechanic's saying, hey, you might want to start thinking about your brakes within like the next, visit or two, listen to him, because he's probably seen a thing or two. That being said, if your mechanic is not providing you with, you know, inspection and proof, you can always be like, hey man, I want to go see what you're talking about. And if they, like, kind of huff and puff, and or like someone's giving you a hard time about it, don't ever go to that shop again. Because no matter what shop it is, if they aren't willing to stand on business and go, hey, you know, you're welcome to come back, take a look, see what I'm talking about, and, you know, make your decision, then, in my opinion, they're not a reputable place, and you shouldn't go there. But, you know, it's your money. However you want to spend it is on you. Do not ever let an automotive place pressure you into, you know, doing any sort of repair that you are not comfortable with doing, obviously. But if they also, like, provide enough, like, photographic evidence saying, hey, your brakes are low, might want to think about doing them, maybe listen to them. Most shops nowadays are actually providing digitized inspections, shortened to DVIs, or digital vehicle inspections, where they take pictures, take video. Normally they're supposed to, like, say what's going on with the vehicle, show what's going on with the vehicle, even if it's green. Some guys are lazy and don't do, like, the whole kit caboodle and such, which is fine. In my opinion, no news is good news, so if it's not mentioned, don't worry about it. But if they show you, like, pictures of stuff that's, like, starting to look a little worn, or they're starting to go, hey, maybe it's gonna be a good idea to take care of this soon, maybe take it into consideration. Small Pet Gecko says hello to the stream. Hello, Pet Gecko. New brakes are on the to-do list for this spring. Mechanic recommended them when I got new tires last month. The pads are to the point where they're recommending new brakes. Yeah, I mean, generally, they go based off of, like, the meat on the brake pads. So, like, industry standard from when I was, like, taught about it was, you start suggesting them at, like, 4s. At 3s, you start recommending. At 2s, they are below the minimum limit, and they should be replaced there. But, you know, customers are able to do whatever the hell they want with their vehicles. That's their prerogative. And I consistently say, you know, not my car, not my problem. I didn't break it, I didn't buy it. So, you know, it is what it is. Gonna have to put that starter in. But I pretty much rebuilt that engine, so that's pretty much done. Got a sway link in the front, shock absorber. There's probably some, like, bushings that I'm gonna have to do. There. Oil filter is on. The pan should be on. Yes, the pan is on. Put new oil in the freshly rebuilt engine. Deepstick. Donde está? Pretty good. These are randomly generated repair orders. I do have the ability to, like, go out and find certain cars and then, like, fully rebuild them. Let's... You know what? That's fine. I'm gonna put the bushings back, because I have a better way of trying to diagnose that stuff. And realistically, go ahead. No. Dagnabbit. Alright, so oil's in it, coolant's in it. Did the brake flush. Did the power steering flush. New washer fluids in it. Hoist this transmission back up. Cowabunga. Hoist this drive shaft back up. So then, realistically, how easy is it to drop / lose parts or tools in this? That doesn't happen. What do you mean front? Front wheel sizes are mismatched. Yay. Yeah, you don't lose parts, you don't drop parts, you don't lose tools, you don't drop tools. Which is pretty nice, because IRL, holy crap. Can't tell you how many times. Okay. 225 4018, 245 4018, 225 4018. Sorry. The 245s are going in the rear, 225s are going in the front. I wasn't even paying attention when I was putting these back on. I thought they were all the same. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to swap this car with another car that I have in the alignment area versus or slash test drive area slash test path, and we are going to do the test path. Ugh. And it should get a majority of what we are looking for. Because it rattles and shakes the suspension, so it should be able to tell us what's goofy where. Which actually, fun fact, I figured a couple rubber bushings were shock, and obviously a sway bar end link somewhere. Ah, it was you back there, you little bastard. There's definitely that one up front. There's one in that rear shock absorber. All right. Dope. Ain't got no gas in it. I just on it. Ain't got no gas in it. I am well familiar with that joke. All right. Now, here's what I am going to do. I'm going to, even though it only tells me to replace one sway link and one front shock absorber, along with the, dagnabbit. The bushings I can do by themselves, which is great. I did not want to drop this subframe. I'm going to replace the sway links as a pair. I'm going to replace the strut assemblies as a pair. I think I pulled on the... Dagnabbit. Hey, hey! We got a net gain. Let's go. Add a little bit of Uncle Handy's homemade paint thinner to the gas tank. That'll get some more horsepower of it. No. That might actually destroy the engine. We are done with this. Order is finished. Legit, though. Are you able to hear me now? I'm going to move you to garage entrance B. Alright, what are we looking at? Transmission issues. Body. Brake problems, exhaust, struggling to find gears. Awesome. It would seem that I had pulled on the cable of my microphone a little bit. That is unfortunate. Alright. What were you again? Brakes, gearbox. Am I able to start it? We're just gonna go ahead and... We're gonna go ahead and test the brakes and suspension, because I forget if I've done that. So, brakes. Suspension seems to be fine. We're going to move you back to car lift A. And we'll deal with that one in a minute. What are we doing to you? Repair all engine faults, car doesn't start, timing needs replaced, loud when accelerating, gearbox control repair, transmission not responsive and noisy. Okay. Is this thing supposed to rattle like that? The air scoop? Probably. I mean, it's a supercharged V8. Then again, the engine mounts are probably junk. We'll see. Oh, yeah, Ooh. That transmission is a junk. Holy crap. I was about to use some forbidden lingo here. It would not be considered appropriate anywhere. Excuse me. There's the starter. Alright, so the starter's okay. Do not try this at home, kids. Air pulley anything. Yeah. The air intake is a better way that we can put it. It probably is supposed to rattle a little bit. I need, since we're pulling this engine out, some fuses could actually... I probably don't actually need to pull the engine out. Yeah, a lot of that can actually be done in the vehicle. Where is the oil filter? Since we're pretty much doing all the timing and stuff, I'm gonna... Love how it goes through the radiator. Love that for us. I'm gonna replace the serpentine belt. Tensioner needs replaced. Water pump pulley needs replaced. Water pump needs replaced. Alright. So pretty much a timing belt water pump service. It was probably mildly unhealthy, yes. I gotta take this entire throttle and intake manifold off. Damn. And this fuel rail looks like junk. Nice. Take that off, because I need to take this off. Realistically, probably could have just taken the throttle body off, and then getting to all of this would have been fine. Needs a new PCM. Alright, we're going to do plugs and coils. We're going to do a PCM. Timing belt. Or probably timing chain. Service. Timing chain, water pump. Is probably chain driven, to be honest with you. Or no, that is a timing belt. That is not a serpentine belt. That is a timing belt. Okay. If they are attached to cam gears like this, and that is the crankshaft pulley, this is not a serpentine belt. This is a timing belt. So we're going to do a timing belt, water pump service, some fuses, a PCM, and then we gotta replace transmission. So, full tune-up. Pull the dipstick out, build whole new car. Needs a cat as well, so that's fun. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. This is an inline 6. Okay. Before I do anything, I want to see if any of these things can be repaired. The drive shaft, the starter, radiator fan, timing cover, upper and lower. Throttle is able to be repaired. Awesome. The intake manifold can be repaired. Dope. That can be fixed. Surprisingly, this water pump. Alright. Clutch plate. Catalytic converter. The fact that I can get it for 200 bucks is wild. The fact that I can get this for 816 is wild. Shit. Okay. Give me my darn PCM. I probably did not. Where's the other SERP belt? Let's go ahead and do that one as well. Might as well, since we already have it off, you know. New PCM. New fuses. Put that back on. Spark plugs. Also, the closer you get to, like, the timing components, that's where you start counting, like, cylinders from. So this would be cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This. Yeah, the music is pretty bumping. The devs did a good job. Usually when I'm playing this game, I'll be listening to like ASMR or like just my own music in my own time, just because I don't know. I'm weird that way. one in it. About there's fine. Technically, you are able to put oil in a vehicle even if the oil filter is still not necessarily in it. You just don't want to start the vehicle without the oil filter on it. Alright, time to do the clutch. Normally you'd want to do a whole new clutch kit. I am not doing that right now. I am lazy. Here's a whole new transmission. Because I am not tearing that thing apart to try to figure out exactly what's wrong with it and then try to fix it that way. No. Not many places do that anymore unless they are a dedicated transmission shop. Now I just gotta put oil in it. Yeah, a proper garage would have 3 different radios playing wildly different music. I'm actually the kind of technician who has one earbud in, listening to my own stuff, ignoring everybody else. Loud when accelerating, part not discovered. Fuel rail. Well, I think it's able to start now, so actually, this is actually not how the OBD scanners actually work, so take this with, like, a grain of salt. The OBD scanner actually just provides us with a diagnostic code that gives us a way to, like, try to diagnose the vehicle a little bit better. But now, put that there. Engine needs to be complete. Is it not? Need a starter. Cowabunga. Let's check out the tire tread. Cool. Electronic multimeter. This is also not how it actually works, but, you know, whatever. And I love how it's currently on ohms. I don't know why we're on ohms, but, you know, whatever. Fuel pressure tester. Ah, we got a faulty fuel pump. That's dope. All right, check compression. Oh. It's not supposed to be in the red. Okay. Oh, well. The muffler needs replaced. Dope. Fuel pump needs replaced. What else? There's like 2 more parts. Okay. My whole goal... ain't got no gas in it! My whole goal was to get it started so that I could actually try to figure out what the hell is wrong with this thing. So, alright. Still apparently some stuff going on with the engine. Let's pull the oil pan and see. It's wild that this oil pan only has like 4 bolts. That is wild. I just did the timing belt. Homie, you just saw me do the timing belt, so I don't know what the hell. Air filter is fine. Now, like, my brain is actually trying to figure out what the hell else it could be. Because... what the fuck? Ah, you were chasing a gecko. i6, double overhead cam, turbo. Yay, I leveled up. Yeah, spark plugs are in it. I replaced spark plugs, replaced the coils, did the timing belt, water pump, drive belts, tensioner. Battery is good. I replaced the PCM, replaced the fuel pump, replaced the catalytic converter, replaced the muffler, replaced the fuel pump. Ain't got no oil in it. Alright. I'll put some oil in it. Unless it's supposed to have a turbo, and it doesn't have the turbo. I've literally fixed everything else. So what the hell are you? What engine is this? I see DOHC BU2. Okay. I've already scanned it. Already did a compression test. Already did the multimeter. Already checked tire tread. Already did the fuel pressure test. Okay. I need to build this engine from scratch. Wiring fault from the crappy aftermarket sound system owner installed by themselves. Oh, man. That's wild. That is wild, homie. We're going to create a new engine. We are going to do... God damn it, what was it? It was an i6 double overhead cam BU2. All right. Unless it's literally the head and the block that are the problem. Is there legitimately any difference between just the BU2 and the Turbo Edition? I don't think so. Other than price. Because water pump's the same. Okay. It's gonna drive me crazy. So I'm gonna move this back. And I'm gonna yank the damn engine out of it. I'm gonna tear this thing apart until I bloody well find it. I swear to God, if it's the cams, I'm going to be upset. $70. You little bastard. You see this shit? You little bastard. It was two little cam... Oh my God, bro. What the fuck? Bruh. I'm sitting over here. Yes, I remembered to take the plastic film off of the oil filter. It was the caps holding the damn camshafts. This some bullshit. What the fucking hell? This some bullshit. This some real fucking bullshit. I want to blow it up. I want to take it out back and I want to blow it up. That was irritating. Give it the Office Space printer treatment. Homie. That's what I want to do legitimately at my job every damn day. Like, I hate doing this shit for a living. I need a new career, man. This sucks. And now here I am. Playing this damn game. Okay. Put this damn fuel rail back in. Is there anything else that I need to do? No. Get the hell out of my shop. Shush. Get out of my shop. Go away. Alright. What are you? Strange noise, filters, engine faults. So, timing and water pump and bullshit. Okay. Let's try to make this thing at least try to repair for $900. Okay. I'm glad you're happy you're working for yourself now, Dragon. Oh, the ABS module's junk. Nice. Compression. Camshaft is junk. Nice. How about the electrical system? Looking good so far. Okay, the electrical system is looking good. We're gonna check tires. Kind of junk, but it'll still be alright for a while. Fuel pressure test. Let's see how bad this is. Okay. Fuel filter's junk. That was the wrong button. Dag dabbit. There we go. My Windows button got stuck. What the hell was I doing? Right. So, air filter, fuel filter, oil filter, timing chain, water pump. Ain't getting no gas. Well, let's do plugs, let's do coils. Let's pull the head off it. Or the valve cover, rather. Yeah, that camshaft is junk. Usually the ABS module comes as this whole assembly, so the pump and the module itself. I'm going to just replace both at the same time. Fuel filter. It's going to be done at the same time. This thing is definitely getting an oil change. It's going to be getting a cooling system flush because we're doing a water pump at the same time. Ugh, yeah, that air filter needs to go. That cam gear looks rough. Both of them. Both of them. New timing chain, new cam gear. I mean, it very well could be consuming oil and nothing is really getting to the cam. That's entirely possible. But it's not asking me to fully diagnose a possible oil consumption concern. But here's what I need to do. I need new. It's not what I wanted. Drain tool. Pull out that. Take the cert belt off. Try adding 16 quarts of oil. I don't think this little four banger is gonna take 16 quarts of oil. I'd estimate maybe 4.5 tops. God, this. Ah, my ear. Ah. Strange noises. Just to kind of go back and what I was saying like earlier about like the master cylinder, this part here, this is the brake booster, hydraulic booster. This is the brake fluid reservoir. This is the master cylinder. Oh, that brake rotor looks junk. That's actually pretty close to the brake rotor on the Volkswagen I was talking about earlier. So, pads and rotors in the rear. I don't care if this side looks good. We might be able to turn them, but we'll see. By turn them, I mean, like, cut the rotor so that it looks a little bit more like this rather than all rusty and junk. So we're going to do rear brakes. Which I'll just go ahead, head back for the lathe. Which it looks like only one of them I can actually turn, so. Don't need to buy a new pump. That's good. Neat. Okay. Since we're replacing the oil filter, we might as well do an oil change. Oil looks fairly healthy, but you know, whatever. Why the last chucklefuck that did that oil change didn't replace the filter, I don't know. Let's check out what's underneath the oil pan, because I'm just a little suspicious. Crankshaft bearing cap. Neat. I was right to be suspicious. This is a front-wheel drive vehicle with a transaxle gearbox / transmission / transaxle. This is because this is the final drive assembly and the drive axles go directly into it. And it's turbocharged. Neat. How do the front brakes look? Little PB blaster. That looks like front brakes. We might be able to turn these front rotors. So we're going to need pads and rotors in the rear, turn front rotors, replace pads. While that's turning. You're supposed to do a star pattern. I didn't. Whatever. Throw that brake rotor on. Are these all the same size? 235, 45, 19. 235, 45, 19. Okay, it doesn't matter. Dope. And I'll go back to pick up that rotor here in a second. Brake rotor so thin you can shave with them. Wouldn't recommend it, homie. Would not recommend it. I've seen them that thin. Those are dangerous. You can break them with your fingers. Okay. Brake job is... portion of the job is done. They technically got a tire rotation, I think. Okay. So, need one of you. I need you. Go ahead. No. Because I haven't actually bought stuff yet. Dagnabbit. Put the filter on. Put this new one on. Put you back on. The fact that it only has 4 bolts is wild. I think I forgot to buy a timing belt. Camshaft cap I4B. Might have bought one more than I needed, but that's perfectly fine. Thank you, Megan. Put that on, put that on. Kaboom, that's done. Timing chain is done. New oil or air filter, new oil filter is already installed. We're rocking and rolling. Put that fuel filter in. Those fuel lines were probably junk. Technician states get a new car. It's fine. Put the pump back in, put the module in the pump. Normally those come as one unit, but that's fine. Let's install the new water pump. I did not get a new timing belt and new drive belt. The crank pulley back on. New drive belt. Put that back on. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. The oil pan's back on. Oil filter's on. Let's put oil in it. So because it is attached to that cam gear, it is actually a timing belt. It is noted as a serpentine belt in there, but because it's behind the timing cover, I'm calling it a timing belt. And the actual like serp belt that I called a drive belt, they're all interchangeable. It's just when you are like trying to describe a belt for different applications, you have to be incredibly specific. So if it's in here, it's a timing belt. If it's out here, it's a drive belt or a serpentine belt. It's weird. Okay. Can we get an air filter that doesn't look like it was salvaged from a house fire? Yes. Yes, we can. And it was installed. Oh, man. Some Paul Mason brandy. Cheers. Oh, it burns so good. It's not the power steering pump. It's not the alternator. That's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. Port injected. The engine hath not fuel therein. I am Meknik. I guess let's pull the turbo off of it real quick. Pull the manifold off. Let's just yank all these off. I probably should have just taken the head off, but it's fine. Pull that back off. Some water, boss? Yeah, some water would be nice. Need a beer, though. That's how it be in this shop. You be working on pieces of junk like this all damn day. Then all of a sudden it's like, God damn it, I need a beer. This sucks. Alright, let's pull this head off. Okay. Everything looks fine here. So what the fuck is the actual problem? Because it no longer has anything to do with what the hell I just did. Which, if it was transmission related, it would say it was transmission related. It wouldn't just say noise and engine bay. So why? Why, oh why? It's okay, Megan. You don't have to get me anything. I'm just over here shooting the shit. Before I put that intake back on, injectors go back in. This is what we call port injection. It is not directly injected into the cylinder. It is port injected, which means it goes in at an angle rather than directly into it. Still pretty good. Perhaps the belts are rubbing on a bunch of zip ties that are barely securing a bunch of jank driver repairs. And that's what's making the noise. Oh, man. Maybe, at this point. Anything's possible. Okay. Still. That is the wrong darn button. Put throttle back on. Ain't throttle. Put starter back on. Whenever doing electrical work, always disconnect the battery. Do not ever do an alternator or starter with the battery still connected. You can and you will electrocute yourself. Been there, done that. And okay, so I didn't necessarily electrocute myself, but I did cause sparks to fly. Went zzz, ah! So don't do it. For your own safety and sanity, always disconnect the battery when performing electrical repair. It's the clutch! It is the clutch! You bastard! Alright. I had a sinking suspicion that it was probably that. But doggone it. Alright. Time to do a clutch. Accessible from engine bay. You mean to tell me I can't just fucking... Oh my god. Now, normally you'd have to remove this subframe to actually move it out. I even said earlier, you guys probably heard me. How come the wheels have to come off to replace the clutch? Because in this instance, I had to remove the drive axles in order to get access to removing the transmission. Okay. So, because we're actually doing a clutch this time. New flywheel, new clutch plate, new clutch pressure plate. Normally, you would have a tool that goes in between, or like it would go into where that shift, or rather the, where the splines are, and then it would be all lined up. That's how you would get it. Reinstall transmission. This is like a multi-hour job, by the way. So yeah, because this vehicle is front-wheel drive, here's intermediate shaft, here are the drive axles. So in order to get yourself enough room, you can't just disconnect it from here. You have to actually remove it. And in order to do that, you have to unbolt it from the wheel hub. Now, in the real world, there are things that you're able to do in order to, like, shortcut yourself, in order to, like, actually get it done quicker. Like, realistically, on this one, I would do pretty much the same thing. I would take out the axles because they connect right there. And more realistically, I'd have to take out this subframe right here in order to get enough real room in order to lower that transmission or transaxle. But if you have to, like, take out the sway links or something, like, say you were doing struts and you didn't want to mess with the sway links, you could disconnect it from here and then move it off to the side, and then you're just able to deal with this, because you've got mounting up here that you would have to disconnect, and then you would have the mounting here at the steering knuckle that you would have to disconnect, and then you'd be able to yank that out. But in this case with the transmission, you could probably, no. This intermediate shaft, more than likely, you'd be able to disconnect it from, like, there, and that would be able to come out. In which you would probably just be able to leave the axle in there, and then just move that off to the side, and do the exact same thing over here, in which you would disconnect it from there, move it off to the side, and then take out this intermediate shaft, drop the transmission in order to do this clutch. But the game doesn't work on the real life principles or being able to do it as a shortcut. So I have to have it up on a lift in order for me to do this. So in short, yes, because of the front wheel drive. Get out of my shop. Test path. Front brakes. Probably going to be rear brakes. Yup. So 4 corner brakes. Calipers, so really it'd be CPHR in the front, probably CPHR in the rear. We're going to knock out a couple more of these smaller orders, and then we might start working on that big one. Yes. Yes, I did. Let's see how it feels like that, because it was kind of resting on my arm before. Rude. Alright, we're going to be doing, looks like 4 corner brakes again. Probably another clutch. Pads, shoes, cylinders. Oh boy. Nice. And now you get moved into my second bay. Oh my god. Will the engine start? Yes, it will. Oh my god. Oh my god. We're just diagnosing this thing right now. Carburetor's fine. Fuel filter's junk. Fuel pump's junk. Nice. How are the tires? The rust is the only thing holding it together. Honestly, some cars are like that. Don't touch it. Don't look at it the wrong way. Because if you do, it will break. Who pinged me? Interesting. Okay. My dad had an old rust bucket years ago, went to clean floor mats, and the only thing underneath was the pavement. Yeah. It do be like that. I don't think this thing has an OBD port. It does not. Cannot use that tool. Oh my god. There's like 6 pages. filled out first page, and not even halfway through the second page. Oh my god. We're gonna work on that later. We are gonna do the easier job, I suppose. Alright, so we're back to a rear-wheel drive vehicle. Yeah, that clutch is fucked. Yeah, the diagnostic sheet will be longer than the car. I have had some cars like that at my job where, like, customer states one thing, and the reason why it's because that thing has happened is because, like, 20 different things went wrong all at the same time. Alright. Another clutch job, so flywheel. We're going to put a clutch in, then we're going to do some brakes. And then we might call it for the night, because I'm getting tired and I have to work tomorrow. And I expect tomorrow to be absolutely terrible. Because one of the service advisors is like, oh yeah, I want to get this one vehicle done tomorrow. And I'm like, I personally am not the guy for that job. Why are you asking me to do it? Okay. Yank the drums. Yank the shoes. Yank the cylinder. When doing brakes, you always do them in pairs. So, on one side, what you do on one side is you do to the other. So, like, we're doing both pairs of rear shoes. We're going to do both wheel cylinders. We're going to do both drums. Even though the game isn't like that, it's just replace these specific parts. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. So, I didn't want to go look at that. Jesus. Ready, please? So, like, brake pads, rotor. We'll probably be able to turn the rotors. Replace the pads. Calipers should be fine. Probably be able to fix the calipers if not. Alright. Might be able to actually fix the shoes. Wild. Normally, a regular shop is not going to do that. They're just going to replace them because they're not equipped, really, to actually repair that item. Like, we can't fix brake pads. We can't fix brake shoes. We can't fix all that. But I'm not putting on used pads either. If I could learn how to spell, that would be great. Son of a gun. needed drums. $255, $50, $15. All of them are the same. Awesome. Well, thank you, Megan. And there's nothing in the transmission case larger than a ham sandwich, and it's coated in silver goop. Yeah. It's alright, though. It'd be alright. Change the oil, back it out. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. What else do I have to do to this thing? Oh, that's done. That's done. That's done. Dope. I think I'm done. Oh my god. A Porsche with strange noises from the engine bay, brake problems, car's loud, gearbox shifts rough. Sure. What a jalopy. That is where storage is. I forgot the Porsche was weird and the shit was in the back. Does not have an OBD port. Does the car start? Yes. That one didn't need a timing belt. Holy shit, this thing needs an engine. Holy shit. Oh boy. Very nice. How are the tires? Needs a couple tires. Might as well do all four. Alternator's bad, throttle bad, radiator, starter, fuses are bad. Oh my god. Oh my god. And the battery's bad on top of it, dog. Holy shit. Someone abused this Porsche. Strange noises from engine bay. Brake problems. Car is loud. Gearbox shifts rough. Homie. You need a new car. I also do not know why the oil filter is just mounted to the side of the vehicle. That's pretty funny. It's supposed to be mounted to the engine. I don't know why it's chilling right there. Did the Porsche come here on a tow truck? I hope so. Because if that bitch drove in. Technician states you need an engine. Get a new car. I got space for... How many more? So I got one. I can put one there. Boom, boom, boom. So, total of 5. What else do we got? That's simple enough. So, customer states, sloppy car steering, running gear faults, brake flush, coolant flush, power steering flush. Any more that are simple? Suspension rattling, brake problems, repair damaged body panels that need repaired. That's a lot of shit. I'm not accepting any more large orders at this time. So that one's fine. So it's just brakes and probably some exhaust rattling. Customer states, suspension rattle, and brake problems. Nice. Sometimes you just need some quick, easy jobs to just get through the day. Alright. I think I'm going to call it there. I have had a lot of fun tonight. It was a lot of fun talking cars, talking about at least a little bit of my own profession, my own professional experiences. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming out, for watching the first stream of 2026. That's wild. It is a wild time out there in the world right now. It is scary. It is rough. I just got a notification for a sponsorship opportunity with HelloFresh. What the hell? Neat. I'll think about it. But yeah, as always, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, like it, leave a comment, subscribe if you aren't subscribed already, and hopefully this year I will get back into actually making audios and updating my Patreon. I fell off the wagon for a while, so it's going to be interesting trying to get back into it. Um, yeah. Have a good afternoon, a good evening, and good night whenever you're watching. And I will see y'all next time. We should be starting to get back towards our regularly scheduled program of like a Monday, Friday type deal. It depends on how I feel, but should be good for next Friday, the 16th of January, and then see if we can't maintain that kind of consistency there. We can pick up again with Car Mechanic Simulator 21, or we're going to jump back into Ghost of Tsushima. That would be pretty fun. But yeah, take care.